In the headlines, President Savre says the election is over and it is time for a united effort towards electoral reform. The youth are told to embrace their culture while one youth places the spotlight on domestic abuse. And the Ministry of Health concludes successful two-day work plan consultation. I am Andrea Louis with the Channel 5 News, back with the details after this.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Thank you for staying with us. First up, His Excellency President Charles Savre has told parliamentarians that free and fair elections are the bedrock of any democracy. The issue of electoral reform was among issues addressed by His Excellency in his address to Parliament on Monday.
The competitive and adversarial nature of election campaigns can be heated and divisive, and the 2019 election campaign can truly be described as one of the most unusual and divisive campaigns in our political history. Notwithstanding the heat of the campaign, which at times focused on the Electoral Commission and even on the office of the President, the process, as provided for in the Constitution and in the House of Assembly Elections Act, was diligently followed for the holding of the general election. Mr. Speaker, there is the unfinished business of electoral reform, and I would urge members on both sides of this honorable House and the public at large to approach the debate on electoral reform from the point of view of ensuring that the rights of all eligible voters are protected, and that the names of persons who are not eligible to be on the voters list in conformity with our laws are struck off. There should therefore no longer be any room for animosity, quarrels, hateful speech, and conflicts on the matter of electoral reform, which is a continuing process and not a short-term, once and for all exercise.
His Excellency also spoke of putting the necessary prerequisites in place to ensure electoral reform. He said it was time to put the December 2019 election behind us and to seek to embrace the challenges of the future together as a resilient nation.
We need also to empower the Electoral Commission to proceed with the exercise of issuing ID cards, which will be used for voting by approving the necessary legislation. We need also to encourage confidence in the institutions of the state and the mechanisms they provide for resolving differences. Mr. Speaker, members of this honorable House, the election campaign is over, and the people have elected a government of their choice. The people have also elected a parliamentary opposition. It is for us to now put aside our differences as a parliament and as a people, focusing on what unites us rather than on what divides us, to lock arms together to face the challenges of this evolving world and to build upon the foundations we have laid over the years particularly since the passage of Hurricane Maria, for the emergence of a modern, resilient, and sustainable Dominica.
In other developments, another young person has added her voice to the call to end domestic violence. 18-year-old Alia Alexander, who is vying for the title of Miss DSC Mass Jamboree, has chosen this platform for the pageant. Alexander plans to advocate against domestic violence even after the show and believes another voice will help the already existing avenues to report such incidents.
We do have systems in place to help people who suffer from domestic violence. It's just that the people are, let's say, not to say scared, but they do not have the encouragement to push them to speak up against it. I'm passionate about domestic violence because I have experienced it, not directly but indirectly, maybe being done to some family members or friends. Honestly, the change I hope to see is that people come up more and speak against it rather than being in the shadows and allowing it to happen to them.
Alexander, who wants to pursue a degree in ballistic science, believes she can use this skill to help Dominica's law enforcement system in the near future.
I believe that our current law enforcement system can be enhanced. It's not to say like it's not good or anything, but I believe that it can be enhanced, honestly. Also because in Dominica, it's not only that the law enforcement is police officers, it's also security, firemen, and so on. I would like to pursue a field in ballistic scientists. So the change I would believe that I can bring in is that instead of having some cases which are being unsolved or having people going abroad, like for example in Barbados, to the ballistic scientists, you can do it right here in Dominica.
Alia Alexander is sponsored by Convenience Plus Limited. In other news, an appeal to Dominican youth to embrace their culture. 15-year-old ITSS student Abigail Fontaine, who is competing in the Miss Teen Dominica pageant, has taken on the platform Embracing Our Ethnicity. Ms. Fontaine is of the view that Dominican youth embrace foreign cultures more readily than their own, and she has called on them to fully own being Dominican.
I chose to participate in this year's Miss Teen Dominica to give out a message to the young people like myself that we need to embrace our culture and we need to be reminded of that. My platform is Embracing Our Ethnicity. I chose it to remind us young people that we have a culture we need to stick to. We could always, it's wonderfully unique how we have so many other cultures that we get to experience, but it is also important to embrace our culture. I always remember that our culture is not a costume. So I would always remember that it is always good to have it to be a part of us.
Abigail, who is a prefect, monitor, and house captain, also likes to dance and play sports. She believes she already displays the importance of appreciating one's culture among her peers.
I am a very good entertainer in my school, and I see it as a way I could also do that. And since I arrived at high school, I always took part in entertaining, and dancing was a way I could show people that our culture.
Abigail Fontaine is sponsored by Protection One Inc. Over $20,000 donated to the Dominica State College for the hosting of the Windward Islands debating competition. Julian Morris tells us more.
The competition, which is into its fourth year, is rotated among the 4 Windward Islands and this year will be hosted in Dominica. Dominica debating team, which has won the competition 2 of its 3 stagings, is into high preparation for the competition scheduled for Thursday 6th and Friday 7th March at the Goodwill Parish Hall. Director of Student Services, who has also been coaching the team, Trudy Christian, is confident Dominica can regain the title.
The competition, its inaugural version, its inaugural competition was in 2017 in St. Lucia. Dominica won that competition. The next edition was in 2018, and Dominica also won. It took place in St. Vincent, and it was a very special year for Dominica because we were coming off of the Hurricane Maria. In 2019, in Grenada, unfortunately, we did not win the competition. Grenada won the competition, and so they are the reigning champions of the WIDC. It is our hope that Dominica will regain that championship. We have held it 2 years before, and this year Dominica is hosting. So it is, in my mind, it makes sense. I mean, there's no other way that it should go other than Dominica regaining that championship title.
The $30,000 donation came from Dominica's electricity company, Domlec. Director of the company, Cecil Joseph, says the company is proud to invest in the youth.
Domlec, I want to say, as a director, we are very proud to be associated with you, the students. It's an investment. Many times, people never come to appreciate what investment is all about. Investment is a rippling effect. That is to say that from your parents' burning of lights, Domlec gets that money, and in return, they are investing that money that they have received from your parents to put back to you.
Ms. Christian thanked Domlec for the generous donation and called on the rest of the business community to invest in the country's youth.
I also really want to express gratitude to Domlec for coming on board as the headline sponsor for this event. Of course, hosting the Windward Islands debating competition is very challenging financially, and we knocked on many doors. I can tell you my aim for the last year was just trying to see how we could make this competition work here in Dominica. The expenses are high, and when Domlec indicated that they would like to come on board as the headline sponsor, I said God truly answers prayers. I would also like to mention that this is a competition that Dominica is seeking to win, and so anybody that has the ability to assist the students, whether it be in research, whether it be just to encourage them, we want to call people on board. This is not a us thing, this is a Dominica thing.
The 4 debaters representing Dominica are Zora Marie Xavier, Ellen Commodore, Cahill Richards, and Sky George.
You are watching the Channel 5 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better. A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Welcome back. A successful end to the Ministry of Health's 2-day biennial work plan consultation. Julian Morris has that story.
The consultation was held in collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization and World Health Organization and involved health workers across the sector. New PAHO WHO representative for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean countries says the consultation forms part of PAHO's 2-year planning cycle of putting together a strategic health agenda for the Americas. Dominica's health priorities are articulated in its national strategic plan, and PAHO assists in areas where it has comparative advantage and technical resources. The country's health system has come under high commendation from the international health bodies, along with a pledge to continue assisting where needs be.
Member of Parliament for Portsmouth, Honourable Ian Douglas, was among parliamentarians who rose to support Prime Minister Carrick's motion to honour former Speaker of the House of Assembly, Alex Boyd Knights, in Parliament on Monday. Mrs. Knights, who served for 19 years as Speaker of the House, is now Honourable Speaker Emeritus.
Mr. Speaker, there are not many of us in this House right now who have served almost 20 years. I believe there are two other members of the House, Mr. Speaker, who would have come in at the time that the Speaker came in. And I myself, I joined this Honourable House a few months thereafter. So I have been in the charge and under the charge of the Honourable Speaker Emeritus of the House, Honourable Alex Boyd Knight, for my duration of the time in this House. And like the mover of the motion, the Honourable Prime Minister, leader in the House, Madam Speaker, have said that the Speaker Emeritus have served with distinction for almost 20 years. Mr. Speaker, I don't think that there is any other Speaker in the region that can rival that contribution made. And, Mr. Speaker, what is even noteworthy is that the Honourable Alex Boyd Knight have distinguished herself not only nationally and regionally, but internationally, Mr. Speaker. The Speaker Emeritus, Mr. Speaker, has been a world leader in parliamentary procedure. And she has taken the flag of Dominica, Mr. Speaker. She's a flag bearer internationally for our nation. And I believe bestowing upon her the honor of Speaker Emeritus is fitting and duly proper, Mr. Speaker, recognition for a person who has distinguished herself and has, Mr. Speaker, been able to rise to such stature in our country, Mr. Speaker.
Douglas says the Speaker Emeritus has been an example not only to women in Dominica, but the region and the world.
When we have finished with the rough and tumble business of electoral politics, and we become members of this honourable House, Mr. Speaker, we have to rise to the occasion and become statesmen in our own right. And I think there is no other better example that has been set throughout the years than Speaker Emeritus Alex Boyd Knight.
To end the news, the headlines again. President Savres says the election is over and it is time for a united effort towards electoral reform. The youth are told to embrace their culture while another young person puts the spotlight on domestic abuse. And the Ministry of Health concludes successful two-day work plan consultation. Feel free to access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Andrea Louis, And to all of our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Join us next time.